Hello, welcome to our podcast on graphic design, our classmates in this OLC Foundations Instructional Design course. We want to start off by introducing ourselves. My name is Josh Book. I work at Texas State University in the Office of Distance and Extended Learning.
And my name is Caitlin Weatherwax, and I am a Student Development Success Coach at SUNY NCCC. And we wanted to start you off today with just a quote. And we're not going to read it off to you, but this is from Professional Association for Design. And essentially, it's just about the idea of planning out how your course looks and feels with a purpose. And Josh, can you start us off then with just explaining a little bit about the state of graphic design in ID today?
Sure. Thank you, Caitlin. Caitlin and I have talked about, and I've talked with colleagues in the field as well, how it's not uncommon when doing online course reviews or viewing a lot of other instructors' online courses that although courses can be rich in content, there's a real need for better graphic design in courses. And so that kind of instigated this topic for me and Caitlin to engage in our instructional design course here.
And this is because we both really aren't strong in graphic design, right, Josh?
That's correct.
We wanted to look into this because that's something we felt we both had a weakness in. And, for me, I wanted to see what are these basics. I keep seeing, templates that are out there, and I want to see, why do these templates look this way? Why did they choose the fonts? Why is the color the way it looks? And is there a better template I should be looking for, or a certain template I should be building for my faculty and recommending to them? So what is, Josh, what was your purpose for graphic design? Why did you think that was a weakness or something you wanted to focus on?
I don't have a formal background in graphic design, and I think that I know good graphic design when I see it, but I have not been trained in really how to design graphically in online courses. So, and also I've done some video recording for online courses, but I haven't been formally trained in that either. So I just wanted to learn more about it to strengthen my skills in doing it, since I'm involved in instructional design in my unit. To better foster my skills. So we've learned quite a bit during this project, and we just want to cover some fundamentals here. The fundamental elements of graphic design are web page design, illustrations, videos, and audio. So all of this has to do with the actual content and layout in our online courses. As we mentioned earlier, we made some observations with colleagues in the field about online courses. An observation that I made is a lot of online courses don't have very professional videos. Some online courses don't use video at all, and some online courses don't use video recorded by the instructor. Videos can be pretty simple to record, and it can be pretty easy to record professional-looking videos. So we'll cover that a little bit more in just a little bit. And Caitlin, you had sort of a takeaway observation as well.
Yeah, the observation that, for me more so brings that element of an actual classroom environment is how it looks, how it feels as a student going through a course. So what is that balance as a faculty member that you can have when designing your course that kind of broaches the line between it being boring and not having really any of these elements that Josh mentioned in there, or having it being cluttered with way too many? Just feeling like you're bogged down with too many colors and fonts and images and nothing matches. So just what are those guidelines that we should follow in graphic design to make a nice, clean, beautiful navigation environment for the student? All of this, focusing on the AV content and focusing on how a course looks will help us increase our student engagement, our ease of navigation in the course, and overall just increasing student success in these online courses. So what we wanted to start with was the basics. Instructional designers come from many different backgrounds. Some do have a strong background in graphic design, but some, like Josh and myself, don't really have a background in graphic design. So we wanted to start with what are the basic elements you want to look for. Two places I want to recommend that I found helpful were a presentation you can find in EDUCAUSE by Heidi Trotta, and she has a couple PowerPoints listed on there with all of her notes and everything from a presentation she gave at one of the EDUCAUSE conferences, and she goes through and explains those basic design elements if you went to school for graphic design, where you would start at. And another one is the top 10 graphic design tips for e-learning success. You can find on the e-learning industry website. And now some of those elements include, if you look on the right here at the top right, would be that contrast. A lot of people don't really understand what contrast truly means. So it doesn't necessarily mean black text on a white font or yellow and black, having that high contrast. It can be the same color, like this purple on purple, as long as you have a shade variance. And you can test that actually by switching your computer or your presentation over to grayscale and just making sure that contrast is still there when you remove the color. A second one would be, if you look at the yellow box there on the right, keeping a uniform font to create that harmonious style throughout your course. So have all of your headings be the same font, the same size, and bold them. And then maybe all your subheadings could be italicized below, and then a uniform font for your text. That's going to help your students as they navigate your course find those basic headings or information that's a little bit more important. And then a last tip would be white space. I've already talked about how sometimes you can clutter up a course a little much. So use white space to your advantage. If you want to really have students focus on something, don't clutter the page. Put those important elements that you want in a certain place. Make sure there's space around it so that the eye gets a little bit of rest when it's going through a course. And then, so aside from those basics there, and I really recommend those two resources, I know that we wanted to go into some examples of what we wanted to focus on. So Josh, can you tell us a little bit more about video and what you recommend?
Sure, and thank you. Great job covering the basics there, Caitlin. I wanted to talk about how easy it is to shoot a video. And I speak from experience. I am not a professional videographer. I've done a little bit of video with my job. One day our professional camera was out, so we couldn't use it. And so I just shot a video of an instructor on my iPhone, and it actually turned out pretty good. So this is just to say you can shoot pretty good video even using a smartphone. So in online classes, instructors can do this. Of course, the best way to shoot professional video is with a professional camera, with the entire setup, with a tripod, with professional lighting, and with a mic. If you're not equipped for that, or you don't know how to do that, another option that's not too hard is to use the camera on your smartphone, to set it up on a tripod, and to use basic lighting techniques. Just make sure that the lighting on the person or subjects on your video are make sure that the lighting is well enough done, and use an external mic. If you don't have that equipment, then you can still take a good video just with your smartphone camera. Smartphone cameras have gotten very good now, and simple techniques for shooting still good video are just to brace your arm in the way you hold the video. You can hold your arm stiff beside you or hold your arm on a countertop, and make sure that the area is well lit, and stand or be close enough to your subjects so that the built-in mic with your smartphone picks up the audio. And using those simple techniques, it's still pretty easy to take pretty good video for your online classes. There are a number of online resources for that walk you through how to do this. I didn't want to provide resources here because it really depends on whether you're using an iPhone or an Android, a Galaxy, but those resources are easy to find. So I'll turn it back over to Caitlin for her e-learning example.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Josh. What I wanted to go through today is just a quick, easy, and I'm sure you've all heard of the KISS method before. In this case, think of keep it simple and styled. So when you're going through your course, you want to think of what is the best way for me to convey this information, but in an interesting way. So think of things like looking for and finding a uniform design set. You don't want to be using resources or pictures that's going all over the place. The same thing for an icon set. Try to find things that match. Also easy to read font. Think of what type of fonts you're using. Use them in uniform. Use colors that are easy to read for the eye. Consider contrast. And also be consistent. Throughout your whole course, you shouldn't be changing style from learning module to learning module. You should keep it consistent throughout your course. This will help students start to get used to and learn actually how to navigate your course, navigate the content. So the issue can be that there can be an abundance of all of these elements out there and even royalty-free images that are available for you to use in your course. So you really want to just choose a handful of these elements for your course and use them in a streamlined manner throughout. This helps create an organized learner experience for your students. And then last thing we wanted to share was just a couple of our resources that we've used for this presentation. And we appreciate you participating with Josh and I in the OLC course and overall helping us become better instructional designers.
We look forward to hopefully seeing you all in the fourth course as well.